Hey everybody, my name is Randy Yasenchak. I'm here with Stemage, and we are here to be talking about all of Stemage's work that he does, but for the Loudr Game Music Festival. Stemage, hello.
Hi, Randy. If you want to sit and talk about VGM for 3 hours, I am game. Let's do it.
Let's talk about VGM music for like forever. Well, actually, first let's give like a quick background. People love origin stories. I mean, if Batman and if Spider-Man have taught us anything, is that we want to see the same story over and over and over again. So let's hear about your origin story and
sure.
You know, how you got started doing video game music.
I started it in 2003. It was right after I finished Metroid Prime, and I unlocked the original Metroid on the GBA, I think is how it worked. If you hook up the Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime together with the special cable, you could unlock the original Metroid on there, which I hadn't played in years. Was totally inspired, and I was familiar with the mini bosses.
Oh, cool, nice.
Vomitron did a really good Contra cover back in the day. The F-Zero Guitar Range album, which came out in the early aughts, I guess around the time F-Zero X came out. So I was like, you know what? Nobody's really taken the game music and completely changed sort of the background accompaniment and tried something new with the familiar melodies on something different. Did a few Metroid tracks for fun, and people seemed to dig it. So I just kept going. So Metroid Metal's been going on for 10 years or so.
That's awesome.
Eventually formed into a live band, and I've just been continuing to do miscellaneous songs and albums and anything I can do to celebrate it.
That's really cool. So you've been doing it for like 10 years, but how often do you perform live? Like I know there's MagFest and there's like BitGen that goes on as well.
Yeah.
How many other shows a year do you normally do?
It varies. It's hard because all of the band members live in different parts of the country. So okay. I met all of the members of Metroid Metal at MagFest at like Mag 6, I think, a while back. Danimal from Arm Cannon, he's in there. He lives in New York. Kirby lives in Pennsylvania. Some of the other guys are in other parts of North Carolina. So we're just planning to play MagFest one time, and then we ended up we've played PAX several times. We've played the BitGen Gamerfest and Nerdapalooza and other sort of miscellaneous shows. Several shows a year, but we haven't done a tour or anything. So
that's awesome. And now you guys are like the richest video game cover and most popular video game cover, band on the planet.
Oh, if you want to make money, you go into covering video game music.
It's dark all behind you, but what people aren't seeing are like the Scrooge McDuck piles of gold back there.
There's some glitter from the pieces of 8 here. You can kind of see them back there. I go swimming. I'm gonna go swimming after the show here.
You just got all the coins, off you for this interview. You had to
might have some gold foil still. But yeah, no, it's we all do it for fun.
Right.
That's why anyone does this. So
now, what was the first time you actually did perform for before you started doing video game covers? Were you a performer before?
Yeah, I've been recording music and band hopping for a long time, mostly in college. Played a lot in college. But I know a lot of really good players locally, but none of them are big video game guys. So I always had in my head that it'd be fun to take Metroid Metal and do it live, but it would never happen. Because I'm not going to try and recruit a bunch of guys to play guitar just because they're good. If they don't care about video games, that's not fun. That's silly. So MagFest, man. It's the hub.
MagFest is huge, and it's getting bigger. I think this year they said some crazy number, like 12,000 people or something was going to be showing up, and they sold out like 2 or 3 hotels. So you're playing this year, right?
Yes, Metroid Metal's not playing,
but
we're playing.
Is.
Yes, yeah. So I'm in 2 bands playing this year. Metroid Metal's not playing MagFest, and it's actually my fault. The reason we didn't even apply because I'm in 2 bands this year that are playing together for the first time, and I was like, I can't handle 3. There's no way. Like, not that we necessarily get accepted, but it's just like that's a lot of weight for me. Right. Danimal Cannon can play in 5 bands a show, and but he's superhuman. It's a different thing.
He is superhuman. Hopefully, I'll have another interview with him, talking to him as well, because he is like on another level.
He is. Yeah, he's. I don't know how he was built from spare parts, and he functions on some plane I don't understand. But I'm playing in Viking Guitar's live band. Viking Guitar is another VGM guy. I'm hired gun for that with my brother who's playing drums, and then I have a new band with some guys. We're called Lonely Rolling Stars, and that Mag is our first show. And we have an album that I'm trying to finish.
Nice.
To put out at Mag. So, yeah, a bunch of VGM vets, a bunch of old guys getting together and playing some deep cuts.
That's awesome. Does it get more and more intimidating as the crowds get bigger and bigger, or is it just more and more exhilarating every time there's bigger and bigger crowds? I guess it's a different mentality for.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of the cool thing about MagFest is there's very little pressure. People just want to hear VGM or odd songs, whatever you decide to pull out. So, if there's a big crowd, it's always a little nerve-wracking, but everyone has that common ground. You don't really feel like you have much to prove there. As long as you get up and do your best, and if people recognize a song, they're going to cheer for it.
Yeah.
If they don't recognize a song, you have to tell them what it is, and then the 10 people. See, that's the thing. Lonely Rolling Stars. We're playing some weird stuff. Right. We're old and jaded, so we're trying to pull out some of the deeper stuff. So if 10 people in the crowd recognize it, those 10 people will projectile vomit because they'll be so excited because nobody would have ever played that song live. That's what we're going for. Concentrated excitement. What
was the first song that you were like, all right, I want to replay that, I want to remaster that into my vision and make it awesomer?
It was the title screen from the original Metroid game.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't realize you didn't realize you knew that music as well as you did till you hear it again for the first time when you're older. Because I didn't become a musician till later. I memorized all this music when I was a kid. My ear gets trained, and then you hear it for the first time as an older guy, and you're like, wow, that's why I love it so much. Let's mess with it. Let's screw with it.
Nice.
Let's pay homage to it.
Nice. So. Now you've got everything all set up on your YouTube channel. Is there any old Metroid Metal stuff on there, or is it mostly Stemage stuff? Oh, there's a ton of Metroid.
It's both. I've got that's where all my stuff going on is right now. There's live Metroid Metal stuff. There's songs, and a bunch of the other weird VGM things I do too.
Very cool. Very cool. I mean, I hate to keep bringing up MagFest, but at least it's like a conglomeration of like gamer hippies where everybody gets together and they just hang out and just party for a bunch of days and listen to music and play video games.
Yep.
But we're doing this for the Loudr Game Music Festival, which is an online music festival.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Very cool. It's a very cool idea. Loudr's awesome. Loudr's really kind of it's such a lean team over there, but they've really, really done well. They're really growing, and it just keeps getting cooler and better.
Yeah.
Really impressed with all that.
It is pretty surprising when you find out how many people are behind the curtains, at Loudr, and you're like, oh, really? That's it? It's just you guys?
On one hand, okay.
Right,
cool.
Right.
Impressive.
So you guys are doing all the coding and wow, okay. All right, sounds good.
It's very cool.
How many like albums do you have right now on Loudr?
By the time this goes up, I'm going to have. There's a list of them. There's the Metroid Metal stuff. The first album I put up was an album I finished in June, which is not VGM related. I decided to try something movie related, and I've always wanted to cover the Tron soundtrack, the original Tron soundtrack from '82. So I put that up first, and then I actually did one video game soundtrack for an Xbox Live indie game called Alpha Squad. That's up there.
Oh, cool.
My Marble Madness album is up there, Arrange album with a bunch of guests. So there's a list of things up there.
That's awesome. Alpha Squad, did you do any other video game covers? Or not covers, but like original soundtracks for games? Sure,
yeah. No, a couple of like theme songs and but nothing some collaborative stuff, but no full soundtracks. I've thought about doing more of it, but it's one of those things where right now I'm just kind of this is all in my extra time, and I'm trying to decide how much I want to really focus on a project like that. Right now, I'm just kind of doing whatever I want.
Right.
And there's it's something to say for that. Even if you have creative freedom with it, still it's like it's a project that's got a specific focus, and I would love to do more of it now. But I just haven't yet. So.
What would be like your dream project to work on? I mean, I know you're working on a pile of stuff right now, but like, if you had the time, what would be your ideal project to work on? Would it be another new game? Would it be to remaster a new album? Would it be to like dig up old classics and remake those? Or
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think like
You never had the time to stop and think about it.
no, believe me, I've got tons of stuff I'm working on. I'm curating a new album, which is something I haven't done yet. A lot of my friends have been curating records, but and I'm going to talk more about that soon. But I have a pretty cool project that I'm curating with some pretty sweet names that's coming up. I've got some collaborative stuff going on with video game composers. I've got a song, a collab with Kaiji Yamagishi, who did Ninja Gaiden soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I have an original song, which I do original stuff too, that features it's going to feature Manami Matsume, who did the original Mega Man soundtrack.
Wow.
And so like I'm actually getting to connect with real composers to do all kinds of other stuff too. So it's been there's a whole lot going on right now.
That's pretty badass, yeah.
Yeah, album wise, right now I'm enjoying doing song at a time, but I have some ideas. I just haven't nailed it all down yet. Tron took a lot out of me, and then it's been song after that. So we'll see.
We were talking a little bit about Tron before the show, and I was saying like I'm probably gonna put some like Metroid up over here, but
yeah.
I would put Tron, but Disney would. As soon as I would hit go live on YouTube, there would be like agents from Disney knocking on my door.
Yeah, not the best play. You might want to play it safe for this video. Yeah, Disney's protective of their stuff for good reason. I got to talk to them directly about this particular project, and it's not something that they would ever mention. There's
Really?
permission, but they would never. There's no Tron blog that's gonna. First of all, because it has nothing to do with the new Trons. It's all the old stuff. No one wants to see the old Kevin Flynn. Like it's all about the new light bikes. I'm all about the old. I love Legacy's fine, but I'm all about the old Tron stuff.
That's
from when
awesome.
I was 9 years old. So
Yeah, I remember watching the original one, and I don't think I knew anybody else that watched that movie until I was like an adult, like in college. Like when you would mention Tron, they were like, "What?"
yeah. We stumbled into it by accident. I think we recorded it off the TV, and so I memorized it with commercial breaks because that's how I would always, watch it on video. And then later I got like a Laserdisc dub on VHS, and there were no commercial breaks, and it just confused me
It threw
to
you
death.
off. There was probably even a couple of little extra tidbits in there that weren't there in the televised version. They probably cut stuff out, for commercials and stuff.
Absolutely did. Yeah, I talked to a lot of people in more recent years. I've met a lot of musicians that the guy who did the artwork for the Tron record, Tron is his favorite album as well. His name is Rufus Blacklock. He's done work with C. Jeff and lots of stuff on the Ubictune chiptune label.
Yeah.
And Wendy Carlos did it. She did Clockwork Orange and The Shining. It's like music geeks end up knowing that stuff. Anyway.
That's pretty cool. Phil Summers, who we used to do a ton of videos together here on the site, he just did the video for C. Jeff.
Yep. He did the teaser.
Yeah,
awesome
that's right.
Job, Phil. Great teaser video.
Yeah, he was psyched about that. He was like, "Oh, I can't wait for this to go up," and it is pretty cool. It was like Optimus Prime trucking down the road, literally trucking down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
What now? I'm trying not to spoil the Scrooge McDuck pile of gold behind you. That's obviously your drum set back there. I shouldn't even say obviously. It is a drum set behind you. But what else do you play? You obviously play drums, but what else?
I play it's all the rock instruments, man. It's guitar and bass and drums. I don't really play I had a Yamaha keyboard when I was little, but all I know how to play is like Right Now by Van Halen and the Beverly Hills Cop theme and Right Here Waiting for You, and not much more. But so rock stuff. I have a MIDI guitar that I use to play a lot of synth parts because I know how to play guitar, but I don't know how to play keyboard. So
okay,
it's all rock stuff. I've done more program drums up till now, but I have a pretty decent mic setup.
Yeah.
A recent song I put up for a website called dwellingofduels.net. It's a monthly VGM contest. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
Yeah, that sounds real familiar.
It's very cool. Every month and some of the quality of these tracks are just amazing. Recorded my brother playing live drums for that track, and I'm starting to like how it sounds. So I have a couple songs coming out where I'm going to actually play live drums on because I can. But Dwelling of Duels is amazing. If you haven't seen it, 10 to 25 tracks a month of VGM. It's a contest, and it's all free.
That's
and
awesome.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that sounds crazy familiar. I know I must have come across it at least once or twice before. But if not, below the video there will be a link for people to check that out as well. And then I probably should have mentioned this already. If you click on your face, it'll go to your YouTube channel. It'll go to Stemage's YouTube channel. And I guess if you click on my face, I should probably make my face clickable as well. It'll do Elder Geek. And I'm not sure if I would be making the Loudr button do anything or not. Probably.
We'll figure that out later.
Yeah,
you know,
that sounds like a lot of work. I'm already making 2 links.
Roll over it if you want. See if it does anything. Yeah.
What about now in your videos and stuff on your YouTube channel? Is it do you do a lot of recording of you playing, you know, and syncing everything together? So you're basically like a, you know, lack of a better way to put it, but like a one-man band, really.
Yeah, a lot of what I did getting started was completely solo because I didn't even have a computer set up. I mean, the early Metroid Metal tracks were recorded on a cassette 8-track, a Tascam cassette 8-track that I would mix, you know, and then dump to the computer just to make MP3s.
Wow.
More recently, because of technology, you can collab with someone in Japan, easy.
Yeah.
You know, C-Jeff's from Russia. I got to play with him on his new record. It's a totally different world. So I'm still doing a lot of arrangements completely on my own, but I'm always trying to bring in talent because people just want to play.
That's
know?
So cool.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
it's
cool.
a lot of fun, tons of fun. So the YouTube channel's got a lot of playthroughs. I do some tutorial stuff. Yeah. So for people that are trying to get into home recording or want to know what I do for drums or mixing, I mean, I've learned from doing stuff over the years, but I'm all about helping people if they want to get into this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know.
How long does it take, basically, like when you hear a song or when you think to yourself, like, I really want to do like the Underworld theme for Link to the Past. Like once you have that set in your mind, how long does that normally take you from, you know, concept to having everything mixed together and saying that it's final? Is that like a couple weeks work or?
Normally a couple weeks on and off. A lot of it depends. Sometimes I'll just listen to a song until I hate it and then stop listening to it and then give it a few days and then listen to it again until something works its way into the song that I didn't hear before, like an idea, and then try to jot that down. Sometimes it's literally a matter of taking the song and dropping it into your session and start cutting it up. See what you can do from an arrangement perspective before you even think about other instruments or rhythms or whatever. So it's always different, but a couple weeks, sometimes, you know, 2 or 3 days. It just depends. Depends on what you're trying to do.
Cool.
Some are harder than others. There was one track I released a Grandia 2 EP a while back, and one of those pieces of music was all orchestra. I had no sheet music, had nothing. I had to pick out every instrument by ear. Oh man. And I lost hair making that song. Like, I'm more proud of that than anything else I've done, just because it took it was crazy. Like you get to the point where it's like saying the same word over and over again. It just means nothing after the 100th time. Yeah. Coming back to it over and over again was tough. So that took a lot longer.
Okay.
But it just depends. Just depends.
All right. Most underrated video game soundtrack.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's one of those ones where, like, a lot of people don't even know Grandia as a game. But I'll get comments on that soundtrack rarely, but the ones are way super passionate because someone's a mega fan and not a lot of people do Grandia, you know? Yeah. I find that almost more satisfying than doing, you know, I haven't done any Mega Man, but like, I don't know, a more frequently covered song may get a lot more traction. But if you can get someone who's a Marble Madness freak that just completely bugs out because you touched a song they love that no one else has touched, that's the most satisfying thing.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who does Mega Man 2 or anything like that.
Oh, no.
But I mean, I would have to say that Mega Man 2 is probably the most, or one of the most, remixed and covered game soundtracks probably of all time. Easily. Can you think of any other that have been like covered more? Maybe Super Metroid.
I think I could say Final Fantasy, but that's kind of a cheat because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone's doing Final Fantasy, but the catalog of that music is so big. Right. There's so much to pick from, you know?
Yeah.
Here's a weird one, Randy. So I've been to like 6 MagFests or something, and I have not heard one person or one band cover the Super Mario Brothers World 1-1 music.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
No, dude. There was a couple of years ago. The band's gonna hate me now that I say this, but I swear, a couple of years ago, I saw a band cover, and it might have been. Something tells me it was This Place Is Haunted. They had it on stage, like they were playing it. They had somebody actually playing the game, and then while the guy was playing the game, the band actually played the music while they were playing the game, and they did a full run of the game. So they did like World 1 through 1-4, and then they warped to like World 4, and then warped from 4 to 8. So during that, the band actually played the whole soundtrack from beginning to end, and
it might have been Bit Brigade. It might have been Bit Brigade.
Might have been Bit Brigade.
They do that. Maybe they have done that game. I guess it's just so weird because that's the one that grandmothers know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the most popular video game song of all time. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's too popular and people just decide they want to do something different. I don't know. That's an odd one to me.
I would even say like the overworld for the original Legend of Zelda. It's a very iconic sounding game, and music, as well. But like that one you really don't hear covered that much.
Sure.
They'll always take like an Underworld theme or like Link to the Past or something like that, but it's never original Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda 2 gets more coverage too.
Yeah, it does. Zelda 2 gets a lot. It's kind of the I don't know what the word is. Zelda 2 is kind of the polarizing one for people, but the music is just everyone likes the music from that. Maybe it's just that everyone's always trying to find something that people haven't covered, and it's a lot harder now because the scene is quite big.
Well, there's always the thing is like at a point. I was actually going to ask you about that. Do you ever cover newer games like within the current generation or even just like one generation past? Because I mean that's where I think a lot of people are going to be tapping into very, very soon.
Yeah, I agree. I did a cover of a song from the Fez soundtrack that Disaster Piece released an album of remixes of music from Fez. I did one of those.
Side F stuff?
Yes, side F or Z, one of them. Side F, I think. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything recent. That's a really good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really funny because a lot of the more recent stuff a lot of the recent music that really gets me is stuff from indie games. It's like stuff that's less orchestral and a little more songy, I guess.
Yeah, I could get that.
And I guess I don't know. I almost feel like I don't know.
Well, there was a mentality shift between like the 80s and 90s and right now. Like now music is background music, and I'm not making fun or poking at anybody who's composing music for games now, but like back in the 80s and 90s when we were making music for video games, that had to be the song in the foreground almost, and you would have to hear it over and over and over again, and it had to be good and it had to be melodic, and people needed to enjoy it because there was no dialogue, there wasn't a ton of sound effects, it was just your bouncing sound and your crashing sounds and stuff.
Sure.
But now there's like gunfire and you actually have dialogue among characters, and it's way more cinematic now than it was before. So now it's almost like it's way more Hans Zimmer now than it was back then.
Yeah. I think when a song does stand out, it's really important. It's kind of like if it's a recent game that's got really good music, it's really good music. And it was music written to exist on its own instead of just being accompanying the game. I feel like Bastion was a soundtrack that kind of blew people's minds.
Yeah.
Like you're playing the game and you might even be fighting something, but you're still like, this music is amazing. You know? So it varies. Like back then, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you have unlimited ability now to do whatever you want in music for games.
Yeah.
Unlimited. You can do whatever you want. You have a full orchestra. You could have 1,000-piece choir. Back then, limitations I think forced people to create more melodic stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that really ends up sticking in your brain.
Yeah, and it also had to work as a loop as well. You couldn't have a big definite start and end to the song. It was just like, no, this sucker's gonna keep going.
Yep.
Cool. Huh? What are you playing right now? Anything good?
I'm really excited. We talked about this a minute ago, but I'm very excited for Super Mario 3D World, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
And the new Zelda for 3DS. So those are coming out next week. What I've recently been playing is I finally finished Rayman Legends. Fantastic game.
Dude, that's an amazing game. That's like the best game that nobody is playing.
I know. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played. It's insane. The Stanley Parable was awesome. I love heady games. I don't know if you know that. The PC originally was a Half-Life 2 mod. Now it's a full game.
Cool.
Battle Block Theater, finally finished that.
I haven't had a chance to even touch that one yet.
Great game.
Yeah.
Great game. Yeah. There's a couple other ones. It's the 3DS Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I played about 3/4 of that, and then I got kind of tired of it.
So you're a big Nintendo fan too, it sounds like.
Oh, huge, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have my 360 and my PS3, but big Nintendo guy.
Yeah,
always have been.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I still haven't gotten around to getting a Wii U yet. Someday.
I won't push you to do it. There hasn't been a reason to get one until like right now, maybe, or next year.
Yeah, I would say next year. There's probably going to be a couple of pretty good reasons to get a Wii U. I'm hoping that they're going to be like, hey, guess what? We're going to do a full 3D Zelda again, and it's going to be amazing, and the people that we lost from Skyward Sword are going to want to come back and play this new one.
Yeah,
hopefully.
It's coming. It might be a little while, but it's coming. Yeah. I also got Typing of the Dead Overkill. That's right. I played that too. Yeah? Typing of the Dead, because I had to get a Halloween game. You know? Halloween is like my favorite holiday, so... to be perfectly honest, the last 2 months has been so much music. I haven't had as much time to game, but I fit in a few things. I tend to like the 3-hour, 2-hour experience because I can fit that in. You know, a complete thought in 2 sittings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Are you able to / willing to talk about what you're recording now?
Sure. Yes.
Let's hear it. Hit me.
One is I already mentioned the band, the Lonely Rolling Stars band. Yeah. And we're recording a full album before MagFest. And this video is being recorded on November the 17th. So we got like 5 weeks. So that's in crunch time already. Let's crank out a 38-minute album in that amount of time. So that I'm working on, and there's some stuff I can't mention, but there are 2 tracks with the 2 game composers. For the Brave Wave label, which is pretty cool. What can I have a new Metroid Metal song that is in the works, but I haven't touched it because I have other deadlines.
Are you trying to have that one done by MagFest?
Probably not going to happen by MagFest.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's a couple different things I want to do for it, and MagFest is a date, and I have to have other things done by Mag, but not that one. Yeah. Big Giant Circles. Jimmy Henson. He's putting out a new record, and there is an album of bonus. If the Kickstarter, he did a Kickstarter for his album, very successful.
Yeah,
great job, Jimmy. There's a remix album coming out, or an arrangement album of his material, and I'm working on a song for that. That's due end of the year. Everything's due end of the year.
Yeah,
Randy.
Yeah, you would like to think that this is the time when everybody is kind of cooling off a little bit between now and December, but that's not really the case.
Let me tell you, I will say that the Lonely Rolling Stars stuff is interesting because everyone in the band is an arranger. So the way we decided to go about this band is every member picked 2 songs they wanted to do.
Yeah.
One of them you could not veto. No one in the band can veto it.
That's a good rule.
Pick whatever you want. It's the one that you can get crazy with. Pick anything. The other one can be up for discussion. So everyone picked their songs and they're arranging their own songs, and we're sort of pulling parts back and forth. And we all live in different parts of the country too. So again, thank you technology for allowing us to be a band. There is a video of us doing a virtual playthrough. We actually cover Lonely Rolling Stars from Katamari, and there should be a link somewhere perhaps to that website, and you can check that out. Watch us cover that, our theme song. So, but yeah, and some other cool stuff that I'll probably talk about in the next few weeks. So
awesome,
lots going on.
Awesome, very cool. All right, well, we should probably wrap this up here. Like I said again, This is Stemage from Metroid Metal and, obviously 1,000 other things. Click on his head to go check out his YouTube channel and, see everything that he has to show. In the description, you're also probably going to be able to follow him on Twitter and Facebook and probably 1,000 other ways that people follow other people and stalk them online.
Live journal.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Your webcams in your house, that you've got those set up that everybody can just watch you live.
Direct feed, live leak. If you want to watch me swim in my money, check in tomorrow, whatever day that is. But thank you, Randy. Thank you, Loudr.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Absolutely, absolutely. So check them out in the Loudr Game Music Festival, which is happening at the end of November, which actually is happening probably right now. This video is going to go live right when this goes up. So go check that out. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you all soon.